Fall is finally here, which means two things. Pumpkin spice is taking over the world, and we're all craving comfort food 24/7. But what if cozy fall recipes could taste indulgent and help you hit your protein goals? Today I've got 3 fall recipes that will hit all the cozy vibes without derailing your goals. Caramel apple crisp yogurt bowls, a lighter chicken pot pie, and protein pumpkin streusel muffins. These recipes are so tasty that I might just forgive Texas for skipping sweater weather. Oh, and if you're wondering how my weight loss has been going since I quit Wegovy, I'll also be giving you a 12-week weigh-in update at the end. So stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. My favorite fall desserts are crisps. Apple, cherry, berry, I love them all. Mostly because I love the contrast in texture, from the slightly tart and tangy fruit to the crisp yet chewy topping. And we also get the added health benefits of oats, which are high in magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants. And really, if there ever was a time to turn a dessert into a breakfast, fall is it. So let's make some apple crisp, scoop it on top of some high protein yogurt, and call it a fantastic start to the day. With the protein density over 33%, this is one dessert for breakfast that will actually fuel your body for the day. To start our caramel apples, we're gonna use 2 apples of your choice. We're just gonna core them. You can peel them if you want. I left the skins on because there's a lot of nutrition in them. Just gonna dice them up and add them to a pan with a 1/4 cup of water, some cinnamon, nutmeg, a pinch of salt, and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar or a brown sugar substitute. Pop a lid on that on medium-low, and then we're gonna make the crisp. In a bowl, we're gonna put 60 grams of rolled oats, 19 grams of a vanilla protein powder, cinnamon and nutmeg, 10 grams of real butter, and 11 grams of light butter. You can use all of one or the other if you like. I just did it to save some calories. 11 mils of sugar-free syrup. And then the recipe calls for 1 egg white. If I make this again, I will not use the egg white. I think it messed up the texture and it made it more chewy instead of crispy. So take with that what you will, and then you're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. My apples were done cooking, so I added in several teaspoons of caramel extract to taste, removed it from the heat, let it cool, stuck it in the fridge. On the day of, I just did 120 grams of vanilla Oikos 000, a 1/5 of the apples, and then a 1/5 of the granola, and enjoyed it with my regular breakfast. Good morning. Let's give this a taste, shall we? I'm gonna stir it around. I did warm up the apples a little bit so that it would be more like a warm apple pie situation. Bone apple teeth. I had also thought about putting like some caramel extract in the yogurt, and they do have salted caramel yogurt. The Light and Fit ones are really good, so you could definitely go that route, but I think this is perfect for me. The crisp is not as crisp as I would like. I mean, obviously traditionally crisp is like, at least the one that I make, is literally equal parts of brown sugar and butter. So, you know, there's gonna be some sacrifices, but the texture is mostly there. It's not as crispy as I would like it to be, and I think that's probably the egg white. Very, very cozy. It tastes like apple crisp with ice cream on top. I'm gonna eat the rest of my breakfast and get to work. We'll see you guys later for chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie is the ultimate comfort food in my book, and this creamy bowl is loaded with chicken, peas, mushrooms, carrots, celery, and really, I mean, any other veggies you want to throw in there. And of course, what's a pot pie without biscuits? These ones in particular just happen to be high in protein. I'm also using a ton of tricks from my high protein swaps video to pack even more protein into these. If you missed that video, be sure to check it out here. After you're done with this one, of course. But with over 41 grams of protein in every bowl, this cozy favorite just got a serious upgrade. Let's make it. We're gonna make our high protein biscuits using the 2-ingredient dough method. I am using my food processor, but I do not recommend mix it by hand. You'll thank me later. You're gonna use 230 grams of self-rising flour, 227 grams of blended cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, whichever you prefer. Mix them together until they form a cohesive dough. Plop them down on a baking sheet covered in parchment paper. Form them into a rectangle, cut them into 12, and then pop them in the oven at 425 for 12 minutes until they're golden brown. While the biscuits are baking, we're gonna start on our filling, which is 4 tablespoons of butter, all of our veggies. I did onion, celery, carrots, mushrooms. Add your seasoning, which is a teaspoon of thyme, salt, and black pepper. My biscuits were done, so I took those out. I added garlic, which was probably a little bit too much, but you know, you can never have too much garlic. And then I remembered that I forgot the black pepper, so put that in. Add in 3 tablespoons of flour and cook that out. And then I added 2 teaspoons of chicken better than bouillon, just because I like the flavor. And then rather than regular chicken stock, I used bone broth to add more protein. Just add it a little bit at a time, scrape the bottom, stir it around, let the flour soak it up. Add in a pound of cooked chicken and a can of fat-free evaporated milk. I'm gonna put the lid on, let it simmer, and then it wasn't quite thick enough for me, so I added in some cornstarch slurry, and a pot pie just isn't a pot pie without peas, so of course I added in a cup of frozen peas. Sir, why are you wrecking stuff? I have a very interested third party. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We will get to those a little bit later. But this smells amazing. I chose to keep them separate because I didn't want the biscuits to get soggy. They smell so good. My whole house smells so good. Yup, that's delicious.
I'm a potato.
Shush. Let's give this biscuit a taste, shall we? So the flavor is fantastic. Unfortunately, I overworked them a little, a lot in the food processor. That's how I make my 2-ingredient doughs when I do like pizza dough and stuff like that. And you want pizza dough a little chewy, but biscuits you want to be tender. I should have just mixed them in a bowl. I will very happily eat this over the course of this week, even the biscuits. If you don't want to make them as biscuits and you'd rather have them as chicken and dumplings, you can just ball up the dough and toss it in the soup. Let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Chicken and dumplings. I've just shown that on my channel so much. I figured I'd try something new, and I'm not mad about it. I love all the veggies. And that chicken is delicious. I will definitely be using that again. I'm gonna keep shoving this in my face. I'll see you guys later for pumpkin muffins. Before we move on to the last recipe, I want to sincerely thank Hume for sponsoring this portion of the video. Over the past several months, I've shared a lot about the Hume Body Pod, but even after months of using it, I'm still impressed by how much this little device tells me about my body. If you want a smarter way to track your body composition, this is still hands down one of my favorite tools. So what is the Body Pod? It isn't just a smart scale. It's actually a whole body composition device. It measures weight, body fat, muscle mass, hydration levels, and all sorts of different things. Basically, it tells you the story behind the number on the scale so that you can see the progress where it actually matters. Now, you might already have a smart scale at home. I know I did when I first got the Body Pod, but your smart scale is actually only able to scan the bottom half of your body using algorithms to just guesstimate on the rest. The Body Pod, on the other hand, has 8 frequency sensors that scan your entire body, making it 98% as accurate as a DEXA scan. Using the Body Pod absolutely could not be simpler. After connecting it to your phone via Bluetooth, and by the way, it recognizes up to 24 unique devices, which means that your entire family can use just the one Body Pod. You're gonna make sure you have it on a completely level surface, step on, grab the handles, stand tall, and you're gonna keep your thumbs on the sensors without touching each other and keep your elbows away from your sides. You're gonna stay still for a few seconds and then you get a complete breakdown of your body composition. It's fast, easy, and honestly kind of fun to watch the results appear. Everything syncs with the Hume app. You can track trends over time, see your body composition breakdown by body part, and you can set little mini goals for yourself as well. I personally like looking at my weekly trends rather than day-to-day fluctuations because it makes tracking way more motivating than just looking at that one body weight number. Now, this kind of technology, accuracy, and detail is obviously going to cost more than your average smart scale, but Hume very kindly provided me with a 20% discount that stacks on top of their current sale, meaning that you get to save up to 50% off. And to top it off, it's eligible for both HSA and FSA spending accounts, so you can use those funds to help offset the costs if you need to. Seriously, this is the one tool that I have that makes tracking my health actually feel exciting. But then again, I'm a total nerd. If you've seen me talk about the Body Pod before and didn't take advantage of the discount, I promise it's worth checking out. It makes understanding your body so much easier, and if you want to step up your health tracking game, now is the perfect time. Thanks so much to Hume for sponsoring this video, and thanks to you for supporting me when I share sponsored content. Now, let's get back to those muffins. I once read that muffins are just cupcakes we get to eat before noon, and while I think that's actually hilarious, I will be enjoying these muffins as my sweet treat for this week, but they would also be fantastic for a breakfast or brunch option. These muffins come in at a 20% protein density, and because I make them into double muffins, they are huge. I'm gonna heat one up, probably slather them in light butter, and enjoy them with a tall glass of icy high protein milk, ending out my evening with a cool 27 grams of protein. Let's throw these together. So this is actually my favorite banana bread recipe that I modified by replacing the 400 grams of banana with 400 grams of pureed pumpkin. We're gonna start with the pumpkin, and then we're gonna add 1 large egg, 50 grams of 0-calorie brown sugar substitute. I did a little bit over that since pumpkin's not as sweet as banana. 25 grams of regular sugar substitute. Again, I went a little bit over. Teaspoon-ish of vanilla. I never measure vanilla, you measure that with your heart. The recipe called for a teaspoon of cinnamon. I only did like a half a teaspoon. Just do that to taste. And then you're gonna mix together those wet ingredients until they're fully combined. And then we're gonna start on our dry ingredients, which is 120 grams of all-purpose flour, 62 grams of vanilla protein powder. Again, I always use PEScience. Whey casein just works way better in in baking recipes. We're gonna add a teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda. I always sift those because without fail, they have chunks. A half a teaspoon of salt, and I decided to toast up 25 grams of walnuts and chop those up and put them in because I like nuts in my muffins. Add the dry to the wet, fold them together with a spatula. You don't wanna overmix them. And then once those are mostly mixed in, you're gonna add in 56 grams of melted butter and fold that in until it's combined. I like making these into jumbo muffins because my macros allow for 2 regular muffins, which is all a jumbo muffin is, but it will make a dozen regular muffins if you prefer to do the smaller ones. I'm gonna set those to the side, and then I'm gonna make the streusel topping. 41 grams of flour, 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar substitute, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 14 grams of regular butter. The recipe didn't call for it, but I always add a little bit of salt to sweet things. And then you're gonna cut the butter into those dry ingredients until it forms little pebbles before you drizzle in a teaspoon of water. And you're gonna stir that together with the fork or with your hands until it begins to look like wet sand. And then I'm gonna top the muffins with that streusel mixture. This was a lot of streusel, so if you're gonna do the jumbo muffins, you could probably half the amount of streusel mixture. These are gonna bake at 350 degrees. My jumbo muffins took about 20 to 25 minutes. Smaller muffins will probably only take about 12 to 15 minutes. I always err on the side of caution with protein baked goods because they dry out really quickly. So just make sure you're checking them every few minutes towards the end so that they don't dry out. This was probably the recipe I was the most excited about this week. I really hope that these are as good as the banana muffins that I make. Look at that beautiful, crispy, craggly top. I'm gonna try to break into this so that you can see the texture. Oh, don't make a mess, please. Smells like Thanksgiving. I didn't even bother with the butter. I don't need it. You could probably half that streusel recipe, and honestly, it'd probably be fine without the streusel at all. You don't make anything else from this video? Make these. Oh my Lanta. How much fiber do you stop in them? 3 grams of fiber. That's freaking fantastic. Just had a body at the bottom that didn't have any of the streusel on it, and it's freaking delicious. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have much to add other than the fact that these are delicious and you should make them. And if you don't like pumpkin, then make the banana ones. Man, these are good. Okay. Thanks for cooking with me, guys. Stay tuned for my weigh-in results. Well, that was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. And on that vein, I would love to hear from you guys about the kind of content you enjoy seeing the most on my channel. Is it like the weight loss tips, seeing me do life, or do you like the cooking and recipe content? I would love to hear from you about what you would like to see more of down in the comments. It's been about 12 weeks since I kind of hit the reset button on my journey when I quit Wegovy. So I figured we'd do another update on my weight loss progress today. As of today, when I stepped on the scale, I was at 258.4 pounds, which means I am finally out of the 260s again. Good grief, we have been here for 3 months. I've been sitting in the 260s, and I about threw a party this morning on the scale, which means that in the last 12 weeks, I've lost 17 pounds. And since starting in October of 2021, I have lost 107 pounds. Of that body weight, according to my body pod, 3.3 pounds of that was actual body fat. And of that, 3 pounds was subcutaneous fat, meaning the fat that sits just under my skin or the most noticeable body fat. Fat is the hardest thing to make move. It may be crazy to say that of 17 pounds, only 3.3 pounds of that has been body fat, but I'm happy that any of it was body fat because that's what I need to get gone. In addition to the 17 pounds, I have lost a whole heap of inches. When I look at my pictures, I'm finally starting to see some difference. I have lost 2.5 inches from my chest, 2.25 inches from my waist, and 2 inches from my hips. That's been since 12 weeks ago. And since I started this whole thing, I've lost 6.5 inches in my chest, 8 inches in my waist, and 8.5 inches in my hips. So my body has been going through all of the changes. Just a quick update on the vibration plate that I started using last week. I don't know if it's a coincidence that I've been stuck in the 260s for 3 months, and the week after I added the vibration plate, all of a sudden my weight started moving again in a way that's significant. In all likelihood, it's mostly fluid and things like that, which I am okay with. I want it out of my body. But I've really been enjoying using the vibration plate. It's helped a ton with muscle soreness. So I will definitely continue to use it. I'm going to be talking to my dietitian tomorrow about increasing the intensity or the duration or both. I did increase the intensity myself up to 4 the last several times that I've used it, and it's felt really good, honestly. I feel really like jello-y and relaxed after I get off of it. So it's nice, very nice, I like. Obviously the scale victories are good, but the non-scale victories are even better. I am so proud of myself for not giving up. Even though I sat stagnant in the 260s for months and months and months, even after the sushi slip up, even after all of the things that have been going on with Richard's job, the fact that I am still here and still going strong is a massive point of pride for me. I am patting myself on the back, doing all of the things, because there have been many times, even during this weight loss journey, where things much smaller have derailed my progress. Hammering that point home that consistency is way more important than accuracy, progress, not perfection, all of those things that I have been spewing for the last almost 4 years on this channel. Can you believe it's been almost 4 years since we've been doing this? This is crazy. Just remembering that having an off day doesn't mean that I'm not showing up for myself. It just means that I'm human. I'm gonna make suboptimal choices sometimes, but that's okay. That's life. I'm never gonna do this perfectly. It has been an incredibly emotional few weeks. I've been having a bunch of stuff going on with my family. Richard's job has not been going very well. Been a lot of things that have been going on there, which just adds a lot of financial stress to our situation. And it's just been rough. So the fact that that did not devolve into a binge is more than a small miracle. If you're on your own weight loss journey, just know even slow progress is progress, and your journey is going to look different from everyone's. Just keeping one foot in front of the other is all that you can do. You cannot control the results. All that you can control is the process. How many more cliches can I fit into this video? Anyway, I had a little bit of a moment of realization the other day where I was watching a creator that I follow on Instagram, TikTok, somewhere, one of them places. They shared a quote. It was something akin to, "You're not starting over, you're just continuing on." And it hit home a little bit for me because I've kind of been talking about like the last 12 weeks since I quit Wegovy as like starting over or hitting the reset button. I realized that in some ways by phrasing it that way, it's like I'm negating all of the progress that I made before that. And I think the reason that I've been saying it that way is because my weight has been so stagnant for so long. Like I hit 100 pounds lost for the first time almost 3 years ago. And it's really difficult for me now, almost 3 years later, to be saying that I'm 107 pounds down. So I think in some ways, me saying like, I'm hitting the reset button or I'm starting over, it was a way for me to feel like I was making progress again, instead of just making up for progress that I've lost. I am in a much stronger place mentally than I've been probably throughout this entire journey, except for maybe in the very, very beginning. I just want to be able to come to the place where I'm able to acknowledge my whole journey without feeling like I'm apologizing for the fact that I haven't made significant progress over the last 3 years. Even if I never lost another pound, 107 pounds is a massive accomplishment. And I need to be able to just say, good job, Mindy. Good job for doing that. Good job for getting there. And yeah, so you gained some weight this year, but you know what? You're still trying. You're still losing. You've taken some of it back off again. And I mean, that deserves recognition. That deserves something. Anyway, I'm rambling, having all the thoughts this week. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you loved these recipes, if you're gonna give them a try, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my content when it comes out every week. All of the recipes that I shared in today's video will be in the description down below. And of course, I will pin my link and the discount code for the Body Pod down in the comments if that's something that you guys are interested in checking out. Thank all of you for being here week in and week out. Thank you to my Buy Me a Coffee members. Your guys' support means the absolute world to me. I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Can you help someone else when you're feeling bad about yourself? How come they say love will heal everything when it hurts like hell? Can you travel the world when you don't know your way around?